You are here because the outside world rejects you.
Let's do it.
All right, welcome back to another Reptile Jones video. And for this video, beginning of November, we are going to do a collection update, a reptile update of the reptiles that I currently am keeping. Most of these are mine, but we got a few bonus ones in here that are not mine, but they are reptiles, and I'm going to share them with you. Also, coming up next weekend, depending on when you see this, is Repticon.
Just out of curiosity, where are all the Florida people at? Like, are you in Florida? Can you like this? Can we be friends?
In Tampa, which will obviously be my first time attending that show. So I'm excited to go see what available animals are locally there, and kind of see the difference of what's available as far as animals and what morphs, because ball pythons are going to be represented, of course, and probably crested geckos and leos. But what will be interesting to see is what morphs are more prominent down here than what were for me up in the Midwest, as far as Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, that tri-state area. So we are going to go exploring that show next week, which will be an upcoming video. Also, we're standing right here in front of the green tree python enclosure. But if you want to see how I built this, go back one video, and I did a video tutorial on how I put this together. So you can kind of see and explain my choice and whatnot, why I did what I did for this video. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the reptiles that I'm currently keeping. So what we have here is a coral ghost corn snake. This is my most spunkiest reptile that I own. We're working on handling. This one doesn't really care to be handled much, but is a very, very beautiful animal. If we can get him to sit still long enough so that way we can see the pinks, which he will settle down. We just got to do this little thing where he kind of just, it's sold to me as a female, so excuse me, it is a female, allegedly. I haven't checked it. There we go. Still not the greatest. But this animal is developing a lot of, come on, a lot of pink tones that we can, there we go. Yeah. A little bit washed out from the light. There we go. Calming down. It's just the way she is when you first get her out. She's kind of a spaz. But yeah, look at that color. Yeah. I'm really digging the progression of this animal as far as developing those pink hues in the saddles, or in between saddles. Yeah, really, really excited to see how this animal just keeps developing. Yeah, look at that. See if we can't get her to move around. It's kind of hard to twist the wrist. Let's see if we can't get her to, no, come back around. There we go. Nope. No, you can't climb to the camera. Anyways, so that there is my coral ghost. And that is, that's two genetics there. That's the anery, or the black albino, and that is the coral is a hypo gene that we've isolated. Usually gives us the higher pink tones than the regular standard like hypo colors that we have. So here we go. Yeah, look at that. See, it's not so bad. No, you can't go to the camera. Yeah, look at that. Magnificent animal. There we go. I would love to find another animal to kind of highlight this animal as well, as far as in a breeding project. But I do, in case, so I have 3 corn snakes. We'll just go with that right now. And they all are supposed to be female. So the next one I'm going to show you I wouldn't be disappointed if this one or that one actually was the opposite sex, because those would be the two that I would pair up together. So, of course, there we go. Yeah, look at that. So, we'll get to the next one. Okay, so up next is the Salmon Snow. And we'll kind of let her kind of do the same thing. You just kind of let them crawl until they kind of slow down a bit. But you can see all the nice yellows that are also developing on this animal, which at first was something I really didn't want. But I mean, it's going to be there to some level. But as she is getting bigger, we are getting more and more of that yellow down the side, and it's actually really starting to pop quite well. I don't know if we can, maybe once she calms down just a little bit more, we got some strong pink hues on the head, and the saddles on this animal are the pink hues. And again, this one is also a 2-gene animal, 3-gene animal. We have the anery, black albino. We have regular albino, amelanistic, and then we have that hypogene, the salmon, which again is another one of those red hypos that we get. It helps really enhance some of those red or those pink undertones, and really brings them to the surface and makes the animal pop. Now I would not be, so this one and the last one were sold to me as females. But I would not be disappointed if one of these two turned out to be male, as long as the other one was still female. And I should check it. They're at that size now where it's easily to check. I don't know. Once I get time, I will eventually do that once I get time, and it's actually a little bit more important to know. Right now they're still just young. We're still just growing them out. Probably in 2 years we'll see these guys breeding. We should really start seeing some growth to pick up here in the next year. So eating strong. We did take a little break. I'm from Ohio. Things got cooler up there. So we did cool them. They did experience a brief little cool down, which slowed down their feeding response. But we are now down here in Florida where we're back warm again. So, the feeding has picked up. So we still got another, I think, couple months before it actually kind of gets cold down here. In Florida terms cold, not Ohio terms and cold. But another one of those animals I just could not part with, just because the pink tones, and we're a little bit washed out because the lighting is a little bit off here. But so I mean, even in that shot, it's still a pretty good pink tone. See if we can't get her head. Yeah, she wants to hide her head. But yeah, so this is corn snake number 2, and let's move on to corn snake number 3. Okay, so corn snake number 3 is another white corn snake, but we've got different genetics involved to create this animal. Now, little disclaimer, a little backstory. Sold to me as a snow, but when I purchased it, I didn't believe it was a snow. I do believe, and talking with some other people to kind of, just to springboard the ideal off of, but it is believed that this animal is actually a blizzard, which is different about a blizzard corn snake from a snow corn snake is the anery gene. In the snow, the black albino I spoke about, that is anery A, antheristic A, the first antheristic gene we found. And then we came up with antheristic B, which we have dubbed the charcoal. So this animal is amelanistic and charcoal at the same time. So we get a different looking animal. And these blizzards are it's a correct name for it, because they're just completely almost void of anything, and they they're more of a white colored snake than they are, you know, this one does have some pink, light pink hues to it, but the saddles have disappeared. So the animal is more of a solid color than what the Snow was, where you could still see the saddles. So that's what makes these interesting, even though it's just a slight different genetics here, very slight. At the end, this is why we separated Anthrastic A from Anthrastic B, because once you start making combos with them, you produce a different animal looking, a different look on the animal. So the spectrum there is a spectrum there, and we're at a different, you know, it was worthy of separating them because it creates something different. Even though sometimes it'd be difficult to tell the difference between Anthrastic A and Anthrastic B, even for some seasoned people. But once you start mixing that combo, that's where we start seeing the fruits of the labor, if you will. But another animal that I'm very pleased with, again, it was sold as a Snow. I knew when I picked it up off the gentleman's table that it was not Snow. So this isn't any kind of like they tried to, you know, misrepresent or anything. I think it was an honest mistake. The gentleman who actually was selling it was not the breeder. The breeder was his friend, and he had the table, and he just volunteered to take some of his friend's stock and sell on his table. And so he wasn't the corn snake breeder, which is fine. Again, it makes no difference to me. I knew beforehand that it wasn't what it was, and I knew it was. And I talked to the gentleman. I didn't flat out tell him like, hey, that's wrong, but I did inquire. That's how I know that he was not the breeder. That the breeder was a friend of his. So it was a mistake, an honest mistake, and honestly, really not one to really get too worked up over. But I'm happy with the animal. I'm really pleased with the color. Again, this was sold to me as a female. I'm really pleased with her color and how she is developing. So did take her outside, and let's just say she wasn't too sure about that, but I did get some photos. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you would have seen those photos by now. But yeah, and those photos were just right after she shed. So the shed was still wet in the cage from it peeling off. So it was a very, very fresh shed. So, but lovely snake, love it, and happy to still be working with it. It'd be nice if I could find some blizzards or something to incorporate this one into, but if not, no worries. I purchased the animal as a pet, as for what it is, and not for the breeding projects that may potentially come from this. But we'll see. We'll see what's available down here in this area. I mean, of course, I could always order something online and have it shipped to me. So even if it's nothing local, I can always find something. But we'll just worry about that later on down the road. It's still just a baby. We still got plenty of time to work with the animal. And like I said, I purchased it because you don't come across blizzards too much, or at least I haven't. And it was one of those morphs when I was first getting into corn snakes that I really, really liked. So again, it's just one of those nostalgia things, and just wanting to keep one just because they are a beautiful, beautiful morph. Yeah, look at that. Of course, in here is the green tree python, so we'll bring you in closer and we'll take a closer look at that. Okay, so here is the green tree python, looking very stunning. Let's see if we can't. Look at those blue colors. So this is a Manakawi, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm really, really digging these blue-gray tones that she has. Again, this was sold to me as a female. The shedding, I've checked her shed the last couple times she's shed, and it seems to be correct. I haven't seen anything in the shed that would indicate that it's the male. So So this is her. This is definitely one of my favorites. Green tree pythons are something that I want to be working more with as you know, moving down here to Florida. I definitely want to work with these guys more frequently, and kind of, you know, and get better knowledge on the localities, and being able to identify them as best that one can. So yeah, eventually I would like to have some nice outdoor enclosures for these guys that you can walk into. But for now, this is just what I have. This is, you know, a basic setup, oversized water dish, just to help keep some humidity, to keep the humidity up in the enclosure. The lights are simply there for the plants' benefit. GTPs, as far as anything I've come across, doesn't suggest that we need UVB on them. So currently I do not, but the plants do need a plant light, so to keep them alive. So that's what's in here. They're just simple LED plant lights. Purchase them at Home Depot. If you want, again, you want to know more exact, check out the previous video to go through that. This is not bioactive. I just use this substrate because it also helps aid in humidity. And then I like the look of having live plants, and so that's why I go this route. You know, just if you plan on getting these guys, do your research and build a cage that works first for the snake and then works for your experience level. Some people don't even use loose substrate down here. They will use paper towel and whatnot, which works. And that, you know, there's no hate on that. I just like the look of this, and you know, and she seems to utilize everything in here. She's currently obviously back here. This unit is the heat. I don't know if we can really see it. Again, go look at the last video. I explained that. We got a probe to keep the temperature in check. Lights are on a timer. So, but this is the enclosure. This is a temporary enclosure. She will outgrow this, and hopefully by then I will be in a position where I can build the nice walk-in enclosure. But I will always need something for indoors for the colder months that Ohio, that Florida does experience. So nice little setup. Okay, so here is a first for the channel. Well, I mean, as far as for this cute little fella. This is Yoshi. This is a leopard gecko that belongs to my brother and sister-in-law. So he's my roommate, or I guess I'm his roommate since he was here first. But a very nice, healthy adult male leopard gecko. They've had him for a few years now. Bought him as an adult. Yeah, obviously well taken care of, and you know, a nice little example of what your basic leopard gecko looks like. Very friendly, as you can see. I mean, you know, he just chill. Chilling like a villain. There we go. That is Yoshi. Yoshi's debut on YouTube. Hold on, little fellow. Yep. So that is one of two reptiles that my brother and his wife keep, and we will go take a look at the other one here shortly. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. I know I didn't show you the one other reptile that they own, but we're going to save that for a different video. I have kind of a more fun idea to introduce that guy. He's pretty cool. Not that the leopard gecko isn't. But I think it'll just be fun to try something different with that. So anyways, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe and give me the old thumbs up. And leave me a comment. Tell me what reptiles you like. If it's something I have or if it's something different, let me know in the comments below. And till next time, later.